Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Call it all Yahweh. Shem Yahushua, Shem Dash. Alright. Once again, double honors go out to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations to you brothers out there on highways and highways, pushing this truth in sincerity and honesty. Alright. This is Nama of the DC camp. Lo and behold, what do we have here? Alright. This is from CWB Chicago. And what we have, hold on. This Jake right here. Now, I don't know if they're going to use this. Seems like they're trying to. I'm just going to report what I know now. Of course, we know with the DVOC number 19, they're desperate. All right, they're going to use any means necessary to try to get people to fear more and more, people that have the common sense not to jump and do this. All right, and that is get this DVOC jab. All right. Anyway, it says security guard who shot man 3 times acting in self-defense. Why? Because the victim wasn't wearing a DVOC mask. And this is his lawyer putting up this defense. Go figure. As I said, here's the Jake right here. Let me get rid of this annoying thing here. But I'll bring that up later because that has something to do with this, not this specific case, but oh boy. Anyway, it goes on to say a liquor store security guard was acting in self-defense when he shot a customer 3 times because the customer was putting others' lives at risk by not wearing a DVOC mask. Wait till you hear about the character of this individual. It says the guard's private defense attorney said during a bond court hearing Wednesday, the argument did not sway Cook County Judge Mary Rubio. The victim fled the store. Alright, so he's no longer a threat. He fell outside, followed by the defendant, whose picture is there, who, according to the surveillance video, shot a second time. The defendant then paces back and forth and shot a 3rd time. Rubio said before ordering 42-year-old Chester Holmes, which you see here in the inset there, held without bail. Holmes, who was barred from possessing a weapon, okay, he's working as a security guard, and yet he's barred from possessing a weapon because he is a 4-time convicted felon and oh my goodness, and a registered child sex offender. Was working as an armed security guard. How does this happen in the first place? Clearly, there's a breakdown. All right, long before any of this happened, that allowed him to even, I don't know if he was licensed or he's just, wow. Anyway, continuing on, it says, as security guard, armed security guard at the store, and it gives the address, when a 28-year-old man walked in without a DVOC mask. And this was 9:53 a.m. in the morning, Monday. All right, Holmes and the victim, Holmes and the victim argued about the mask policy, and the victim eventually left. He then turned around and walked back in. When he did, Holmes met him with a drawn handgun and shot him. See how this has gotten nearly out of control. You know this was planned. Don't you dare think it was not. This is what your elites, this is what the super rich have planned and plotted. All right. It says the victim fell to the ground outside the store. Holmes, whose defense attorney Jonathan Feldman, said has a big heart and is a kind-hearted man, painting him trying to, all right, as this, here comes this guy in here without this mask, all right, putting everybody's life at stake, because of this anti-masker. Anyway, so he shot the guy again. Now he's outside now. Then paced around and shot him a third time before running away. So that, to me, expresses guilt, proving that he knew he was wrong. It says the victim, who was shot in the stomach, arm, and leg, was taken to a hospital where surgeons removed part of his intestines. So he's going to have issues for the rest of his life. My guess is now he's on a colostomy bag, meaning until he heals, he has to do his business from his side. There's a little tube, a little outlet there. They have to open up a hole in his right side, all right? And he has to attach a bag when he has to do a number 2 from now on, all right? Chicago cops heard the gunfire and responded quickly enough to see Holmes running away. He ditched his gun and security vest along the way and later told the arresting officers where they could find him. He knew he was dirty. He knew he was wrong. All right. Holmes also allegedly admitted to shooting the victim. Now, here's why I'm doing this video on this particular incident, is because the apostles and the elders on down, and it's just common sense. And if you enter the scriptures, these are things you do to avoid any kind of trouble like this. That's why they say always have your mask on, just in case, because you might run into idiots like this. Chances are you're going to get dirty looks anyway, because idiots, dumbasses have bought into this. So much so that yes, there are several more incidents like this. You got people freaking out on airplanes. That's why I mentioned earlier there's a tie-in to this at the top of the article here. And other things, because people are just, all over the world, people are like, yeah, I don't know if you are familiar with what's going on down in Australia, right? They're going at it, and that's eventually going to spread here, all right? They're having riots in Europe, all right? It's going to come to a head because everybody's figuring out, ones with at least half a brain, that this is bullshit, all right? And they're going to keep at this. There's going to be a variant this, a variant that, whatever, all right, because they want you to get that jab. It is critical because whether you know it or not, you are being made part of an operating system. That's what they're trying to do. If they were to come out and tell and present this to the people, motherfuckers would, hell no. But this is the big con. This is the big mind fuck. And this is happening worldwide. Try to get you, trick you into this. They've come out with all kinds of incentives. All right, you could win a lottery. We'll pay for your car and all this shit. When have you heard such a thing ever before? Clearly something is going on here. And if you would open your eyes, but we know that's not going to happen because there's a spirit that's been put on these people. Right? A line is being drawn in the proverbial sand. What it's coming down to, you're going to trust in the Most High, or are you going to trust in this devil and his science? Who's going to be your God? That's what it's going down to. Revelation 13 from 11 on down. And if you choose this devil as your God, Revelation 14, 9 on down. You also got to remember Revelation 16 and 2, because let me tell you something. Those of you that haven't been paying attention to these people that have been getting fucked up over this stuff, all right, and they're trying to hide it, but they can't hide it no more. More and more, I mean, I've seen some pictures that were just outright gross of the shit that's happening to these people that are taking this jab. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. Right? But this is the thing where you use wisdom. Right? This is wisdom. This wisdom, true wisdom starts with what? The fear of the Most High. And that's another thing about Jake. Jake was never taught the fear of the Most High. These churches don't teach you the fear of the Most High. Right? These churches, they're about worldly view. In particular, these Edomite, these so-called white people's version of Christianity, or that view. Let's get some scripture. This is let's go to Proverbs. Let's see. 16. All right. 16 says, how much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver. Those of you that have taken that shit and your health is irrevocably damaged to the point where you are truly disabled. Don't you wish now that you had the wisdom to have said, fuck it, I don't trust this devil? Alright, this is going back here, man. This is Proverbs 13 and 10. It says, only by pride cometh contention. A lot of you was proud. Why? You were slightly inconvenienced. Another thing they were counting on. Let's hurry up and get back to the way things were. And a lot of you didn't take the time to think, well, wait a minute. You were so impatient. Now look at you. Only by pride coming contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. You don't want to hear anything. Oh, that's conspiracy theory. Those damn cowards. Fuck them. I want to get back to making money. I want to get back to going to the club, shaking my booty, whatever else you were doing. Alright, this is, let's see. This is Proverbs 1 and 7. And I should have led with this one. It says, the fear of the Most High Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. That's why I brought up what the elders and the apostles and elders have said all along. And that goes into what? Matthew. Hold This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 25. It says, and this would have been, you know, Jake, he went back in, shouldn't have done that. And this is something else. It says, Matthew 5 and 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly. That's what we want to bring out when usually dealing with law enforcement. While thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Now you got someone that's armed, and you're going to get into an argument and talk shit when you are unarmed. But that's Jake. Jake just loses. He lets pride overrule, all right, whatever little wisdom that he has. He catches his attitude. And then he ends up, well, this one didn't, at least so far, in the ground. All right? And all he had to say, hey, cool, man. No problem. I'll just leave. Done with it. You know, he had to come back, running his mouth some more. Again, all you had to do was just, if you didn't want to put it on, just have it around your face. Someone tell you, just pull it up. Do what you got to do. Leave. Take the motherfucker off. Whatever. All right? Now you got part of his intestinal tract removed. You're going to have all kinds of problems. All right? Over what? Again, using wisdom. And for those of you that probably were too young to remember the OJ trial, when, even though this wasn't law enforcement involved directly, in this guy was a convicted felon 4 times and child molester on top of that. But he was in the authority, even though he shouldn't have been. Same applies. When Johnny Cochran closed in his closing arguments, he brought up to the fact because the issue was Mark Furman. And, the Rodney King thing had happened a couple years prior. And Johnny Cochran, late Johnny Cochran, had brought up the point that you're dealing with the policeman out on the street who, for that purpose, is the most powerful in the chain when dealing with the justice system. Right? Because right there, he acts as the judge, jury, and executioner. All right? No way of getting around that. That's just a fact. You have to consider that when you're dealing with the motherfuckers. All right? Do what you got to do. Live to fight another day. It may not always be easy, and no one's telling you, especially not me, that it will be. But you got to try as you might not to let this motherfucker provoke you. Alright? They ain't gonna try. Just try to remember that more times than none, somebody is filming. You've got all kinds of things with technology today, these little private computers. They've got very good cameras now. Alright? Try to bear that in mind. And overall, angels, the eyes of Most High, constantly, always on the job. Just remember that. Alright? Let's see what else we got. Let's go to Psalms. Let's see here. This is going to be Psalms chapter 9. Psalms 9 and 10. And it says, and they that know thy name will put their trust in thee. For thou, and this is Lord in all caps, so that's the Most High, his name is Yahweh, hast not forsaken them that seek thee. All right? go. Let's go to Psalms 111. Whoops. Wait a minute. That's not right. Psalms 111. There we go. And 10, it says, the fear, what did I say? The fear of the Most High Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. Remember. Alright? And what? Proverbs 18 and 10. 8. Proverbs 18 and 10. His name is a strong tower. Right? The righteous run into it. Remember that. Psalms 34 and 7. About the angels encampeth around. Now let's get that real quick. Psalms 34. 34th and 7th. This is Psalms 34 and 7. It says, the angel, again, Lord in all caps, the angel of the Most High Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. How many testimonials have the other occupant told, myself included, about being delivered out of certain situations that could have and would have otherwise turned out very differently. Right? Some of us may not even been here. All right? And with my case, that is a certainty. All right? Would not have been here. And that's more than one time. All right? You know, what can you say? Give thanks. Give thanks daily. Right? You're out here doing the work. Why? Because you fear and you know, as a result of your personal experience, the power that is in that name, the power of the Most High Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai. Alright? That's why, let's see, what did Paul say? Hold on. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11. It says, knowing therefore the terror of the Most High, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto the Most High, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness. All right? All right? That's what I got doing the highway on highways. Trying to wake you, Jacob. All right? Because time is really short. All right? It's shorter than what we thought. All right? So, hey, that's going to be it on this. I'll just post the rest of this. This is really, again, like I say, you got to remain circumspect, people. Akim, if you Akroth and watch. Keep your head on a swivel, in other words. Alright? It's going to get much worse out here. Because this devil is, alright, he's pulling the rug out from under these people. He's pulling his support away. He's doing everything he can to make you, alright, do what he wants you to do. He's not leaving you any choices. Alright? And if you're not catching on to what's going on, alright, you're going to fall for it. He's trying to be slick in doing this without being forceful, but he's losing patience. Alright, he's going to be forced to reveal his hand. Those horns are really going to protrude, it's going to stick out. Alright, so hey, with that, once again, this has been about this idiot here working as security guard. He didn't Fell for that BS about somebody spreading the DVOC 19. All right, and up here was something I said that was related. These people on these airlines, these flight attendants, are taking self-defense classes because of people freaking out because of said DVOC 19 and these masks and flipping out on these flights. For time's sake, I'm not going to roll the footage, but it'll be in the same link. All right, so hey, with that, once again, I hope whoever views this is edified as to what's going on. That's what we do here at Great Millstone. We take what's happening in the world and filter everything through the scriptures, as you're supposed to, do. All right, so there you know 1 Thessalonians 5th chapter. All right, because these are the things that, Matthew 24, these are things that will, match up to what's going on. These are signs, all right, that are happening, that was prophesied that would happen. Just letting you know, hey, the Lord's on his way. Hey, so with that, shalom, shalom, shalom.